Happy Families podcast. It's the podcast for the time-poor parent who just wants answers now.
Plenty of research over the last couple of decades has highlighted that when we give children the opportunity to develop gratitude, they do better in life.
And now here's the stars of our show, my mum and dad.
G'day, this is Justin and Kylie Coulson. We have the parents of 6 daughters. Our youngest is in grade 1. Our eldest has moved out and married. We have 3 teenage girls right now, with 2 still to come. No wonder we're tired.
I don't have anything to say to that.
You're too tired to bother thinking about it. And I'm the founder of happyfamilies.com.au. I've written a bunch of books about how to make your family happier. Today, we wanted to do something really nice to follow on from our conversation on Tuesday about a 3-year-old that wants to go to bed late because she spat the dummy. Time to give up the dummy. But this time we're not going to talk about dummies. We're going to talk about how to create that really high quality nighttime nurture. The kind of conversations, the kind of closeness that we want our children to experience when it's bedtime. And we're going to go through 5 questions that you can ask your kids to have really nice conversations at bedtime. Because parents always say to me, can I get the kids to talk to me? Like the kids are just, we ask them a question, don't answer. How was school? Fine. They don't say anything. But most parents will agree that bedtime is the time to have high quality conversations.
We actually talked about this in book club last term. And
so for those of you who are not familiar, sorry to cut you off, Honey Bun, but book club for all of our happy families.
Did you just call me Honey Bun?
I did on the podcast. I'm so sorry. Is that okay with you?
That's fine with me.
Okay, all right.
I'm sure that there is a whole heap of people out there that are rolling eyes, though.
It's in there. We're not taking it out now. So, like I said, Honey Bun, the book club. I cut you off and then you cut me off and now I'm completely lost. The book club thing that we do is part of the Happy Families membership, whether you're
the book club thing. I can't believe you just said that.
The book club thing that we do, every term our Happy Families members go through one of our books, one of the books that I've written about making your family happy. You run book club for us, and if you're a Happy Families member, 4 consecutive weeks during term, we go through one of the books, and last term we went through the book 10 Things Every Parent Needs to Know.
And chapter 9, we talked about feeling joy. And one of the things that we discussed was bedtime routines, because for a lot of parents, that's not a place where we would typically suggest that we feel joy.
In a lot of houses at nighttime, things are kind of chaotic and crazy. And what we really want to do is create high quality nighttime nurture experiences so that we can feel the awesomeness of what it is to be a parent instead of the exhaustion of what it is to be a parent.
And I have to admit, I definitely know the feeling of stressful nighttime routines.
Yeah.
We have had our fair share of those.
Last night. I'm just saying.
But generally speaking, nighttime routine, it's literally one of my most favourite times with the kids.
Yeah.
We're all a little bit sleepy. We're, starting to wind down, and just that opportunity to connect and have those extra snuggles and read a bedtime story, which, like we talked about a few weeks ago, has completely changed for me and Emily. I'm not reading those, soft, warm, fuzzy feeling books anymore.
You're reading science textbooks to our 7-year-old.
But I just love that time. There's just a softness that kind of comes over our children as they're, going to bed most of the time.
So 5 questions to ask your kids at bedtime so that you can have those conversations that bring you closer together.
So we actually have our first conversation at the dinner table.
We do.
That's where it starts.
And usually, not every night, but usually we'll say, what were you grateful for today? It's that simple. And the beautiful thing about a question like that is that it teaches kids gratitude, but it also helps to create a sense of reflection, a sense of the world is good. Good things happen, and I can expect that if good things happened today, that tomorrow more good things will happen, more things that I can be grateful for.
We had one of the cousins sleep over during the holidays, and when we asked the question, she said, I don't know what I'm grateful for.
Yeah, 7 years old, and she's like, I don't know.
And I said to her, do you remember when you said thank you today? And she looked at me and she said, She said, I thanked Mummy because she let me stay with you.
Yeah.
And I said,
That's gratitude.
maybe that's what you're grateful for today, that you get to spend time with your cousins. And she was like, yeah. And it's just changing the words to help us, help the children understand what it actually means to be grateful.
Plenty of research over the last couple of decades has highlighted that when we give children the opportunity to develop gratitude, they do better in life. It's good for their relationships. It's good for their well-being. It's surprisingly, remarkably, it's even correlated. As gratitude goes up, so too do things like self-regulation and exercise and school grades, satisfaction with life. Gratitude is a powerful way to inoculate kids against depression. You'll note that if you're ever talking to somebody who's genuinely depressed and you say, well, is there something in your life that you're grateful for? They will say no, because they can't find that thing to be grateful for. So really important question. And it's also beautiful to hear the things that they are grateful for, to hear the little conversations.
Well, one of the things I love about around the dinner table is if you've had a hard day and it's hard to find something to be grateful for, listening to what other people are grateful for kind of triggers your understanding and memory of things that may have happened that you could be grateful for, but because you're in a funk, it's hard to see them in that moment.
Yeah. What's the second question?
What are you looking forward to?
Okay, so this follows directly on from what are you grateful for? And the reason this one's an important one is just like gratitude helps to inoculate against depression, looking forward to something, being optimistic about the future, having hope that tomorrow is going to be a good day is a wonderful way to inoculate kids against anxiety. If you're looking forward to something, so anxiety is feeling fearful or apprehensive or worried about what's coming in the future. And if you can talk to your kids about what they're looking forward to tomorrow, that means that any fear or apprehension or worry can be diminished because there are things to look forward to. Now, it may be that tomorrow they're going to the dentist and having 4 fillings and they're not looking forward to that at all. But if there is something that they're looking forward to, then that may be what it takes to help get them through the thing that they're nervous about.
Well, I think too, often what we've found is that our kids actually may be excited about something, but there's an anxiety associated with the thing that they're looking forward to as well.
Nervous anticipation.
Yeah. And so being able to have those conversations is really helpful as well, to help them recognize that you can feel 2 completely opposite emotions in the same space and work through them.
Up next, the final 3 questions to ask every night with your kids to help make family life a joy in the evenings.
It's the Happy Families Podcast.
For a happier family, try a Happy Families membership, because a happy family doesn't just happen. Details at happyfamilies.com.au.
It's the Happy Families Podcast, the podcast for the time-poor parent who just wants answers now. And today we're talking about bedtime conversations, 5 questions that we can ask our children before they go to bed.
First one, what are you grateful for? Second one, what are you looking forward to? What's the third one?
This one's a great one because it's so open-ended. But is there anything you want to talk to me about?
Yeah.
Are you worried about anything? Is there anything that you just want to share with me?
It's amazing what happens. You ask that question when the kids get in the car after school or when they walk in the door and they kind of go, huh? Like, what a bizarre question to ask. No, of course there's not. But once they're lying flat on their back, it's just beautiful what comes out of their mouths. If you can be patient, just lay there with them.
We don't have this kind of routine with our older kids anymore. But even last night, we got a knock on the door. Lights were out. We were ready to just,
The lights were literally out. What time was it? Like 5 to 9? Because I get up at 4:30 for a bike ride, right? So I'm exhausted at 9 o'clock.
And I'd locked the door so nobody came in. And we had a knock on the door. And we're like, yes.
What do you want?
And she said, I just want to come in. And we're like, we're going to bed. And she says, but I want to talk to you.
So you got up.
So I got up.
Opened the door.
I unlocked the door. She came in.
Did she talk to us?
She did.
Did I fall asleep? I think I might have. I do remember the knock on the door. I have no recollection of the conversation.
Poor kid, honestly. If it's not me falling asleep in interviews, it's you falling asleep when they're actually trying to connect.
I can't believe that I just said that on the podcast. Gosh. You know what? I'm not perfect. I've never made any claims to parenting perfection. I love talking to the kids, but you try to talk to me at 9 o'clock at night, it's curtains. Forget it. The matchsticks can't hold up the what do you call these things in your eyes? Your
eyelids.
Eyelids, yeah. The eyelids are closing no matter what. I can't believe I forgot what that was called as well. I'm feeling so embarrassed now. Did she have a good conversation with us?
With me? Yes, she did.
So
she did. But I just love it. And there is something wonderful about nighttime and just this sense of being able to open up
Yeah, one of our favourite things to do, we've got a new brazier because the last one died, and we just throw a couple of bits of wood in there and light it up and sit around there and have a couple of marshmallows or a hot chocolate. And the kids get real talky, don't they? They really love to chat.
The last two aren't really questions, but they're conversations that are wonderful ways to end your day.
Sure.
The first one is, if there's been anything in the day that hasn't gone so well, an apology, acknowledging we got it wrong today and I'm really sorry for the part that I played in it.
Yeah. One of my favourite things is to apologise to my kids. I know that sounds really weird, but I just love it. I love being able to sit with the kids and say, I'm flawed. I'm full of mistakes. I fell asleep on you last night when you were trying to talk to me, when you intruded into my bedroom at 9 o'clock. I'm really sorry about that. Would you like to talk to me now? There's just something that draws you closer when you have the opportunity to repair through asking forgiveness and apologising. Not that I'm suggesting that parents should be doing that never-endingly. Like, we don't want to be relentlessly repenting of our relationship ruptures. But when there has been one, we need to. And the night time seems to be a really nice time to do it, so that the next morning everyone wakes up and they feel close.
Yeah, I love that. I think there's something beautiful about it. And the last one is just those endearing acknowledgements of love.
Yeah, those 3 magic words.
I love you.
Gosh, thanks, honey. I say this all the time, that they are the 3 second most important words that our kids need to hear.
The last 2 are no matter what.
That's 3 words. There's 4 kinds of people in the world, those who can count and those who can't.
Ah, really?
I love you no matter what. Even if you can't do maths, I'm still crazy about you. And the kids just love hearing that. In fact, the soppier and the cheesier you can be, especially when they're young, the better.
My all-time favourite bedtime story is Guess How Much I Love You.
Oh, Sam McBratney.
The kids just love trying to come up with a bigger concept of love.
I love you infinity. I love you to the moon.
Infinity plus infinity.
That's right. Infinity times infinity. That's brilliant stuff. So we hope that those 5 conversations are helpful for creating some nighttime nurture in your home tonight. The quick recap. What are you grateful for? What are you looking forward to?
Is there anything you want to talk to me about? I'm sorry and I love you. And don't forget, there has to be an abundance of snuggles.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We really hope that you've enjoyed the podcast today. Thanks so much for listening. Oh, by the way, it's been a while since I've mentioned this, but we just love getting your reviews on Apple Podcasts. 5-star reviews and ratings make all the difference in terms of, helping us to know that you're loving the podcast, but also getting the podcast out to other people.
We got the best one the other day.
Fill me in. I must have missed it.
I love this podcast. I find myself giggling out loud many times. It feels like I'm having a coffee with friends and a good laugh over parenting fails.
Oh, yeah, great. So every time we get it wrong, everyone feels better. That's so good.
I learned so much from this podcast. Thank you.
Oh, that's great. Who was that from? That was from, I can't read it from here.
Kiara Lee.
Well, thank you, Kiara Lee. So again, those podcast ratings and reviews help people to find the podcast to make their family happier. We really appreciate it when you do that. The podcast is produced by Justin Rollon from Bridge Media, and Craig Bruce is our executive producer. If you'd like more information about how to make your family happier and you don't think the podcast is enough, you can find everything you need at happyfamilies.com.au.